Okay, command versus market economies. Very easy. Command economies, get this list down. Inefficient, government committees control price, wages, the economy in general, production. Again, government controls, inefficient. No profit motive. Everyone gets paid the same amount. So people don't have the incentive to work harder because they're going to get the same wage no matter what. That's why it's inefficient. Market economy. Private property. You can go back to command economy and write no private property. Private property, you're allowed to reap the fruits of your labor. That's the reason for competition. Because you get to keep what you earn, you're going to compete against others. There's competition in a market economy. The government is laissez-faire. That means hands off. Doesn't get involved. Most important thing, put a big star by it, profit motive. That's the idea of private property. You get to reap what you sow, but you have, because you know that, you have a desire to make more profit. Competition, again. Make a note, a mixed economy has a little bit of both. So the AP test might say a mixed economy, who makes decisions? Well, it would be suppliers and demanders, the private market, and it would also be government committees. It would be mixed. Oh, the circular flow chart. We love it. Okay. It's just a fancy diagram to show what goes on in society. Goods and things, stuff, is exchanged. The two players are the households and the firms. They make exchanges. And the arenas where they exchange are in markets. Market is a fancy word for where people interact and exchange goods. Can be physically, can be over the internet, whatever. The product market, the name of either market, product or resource, the name is based off of what is being exchanged. So in the product market, products are being exchanged. Well, in that case, it's easy to know that the firms are supplying the product. So you see on the right side, put your finger on the firm. From there, the dark black arrow goes to the household. Those are goods and services. iPods, jeans, car washes, dentistry services. Beneath it, the red arrow going from households to the firms, those are what are called consumer expenditures. It's just money that you spend. Firms then get something from households in the resource market. What's being exchanged? A resource. So households are the suppliers in that market. They're supplying factors of production, inputs, resources, land, labor. Someone might sell a farm to a company. Someone might sell their labor, their job. And in return, they get rent or wages, dividends. So it's still just money. Make sure, and the AP test might not have this exact model. They might have the household and firms being vertical and errors might be going differently. But as long as you know that in the product market, firms are supplying something. And in the household market, it's the households that are supplying something. You'll be A-okay. Okay, so I already went over with you the definitions of comparative and absolute advantage. So you have the definitions down already. Rewrite them on this second part of the TAN packet. Comparative advantage, lower opportunity cost. Also add this to it. It's what you look at to decide if a nation or person should specialize. I'll say that again. Comparative advantage. What you look at to decide if a person or nation should specialize. We care about absolute advantage, but not like we do about comparative advantage, which, again, comparative, doing things, doing a task, either the quickest or producing the most. Specialization. That's when one country focuses on producing one good, other country produces a different good, and they trade. Benefits, write this down. Increases production possibilities. So PPC shifts to the right because you can maximize your resources better. So economic growth. The reason you're not wasting resource. So you might want to put resource allocation is efficient. The way you allocate or distribute the resources you have in your economy, people, labor, machines, is efficient. Okay, for the cheat sheet. The equation, our little trick equations we use, depends on what data they give you. Okay, right? The AP loves to run the show. So what are the two possibilities? What two kinds of data can they give you? Correct. Hopefully you said the correct answer. Input or output. They can give you a resource. They can give you a chart that says how much time it took or how many units of land or resources it took for countries to make a good, or they can give you output, how many they were able to produce. If they give you a resource, write this down, resource, in parentheses, put time. We like to say run, RU over RN. Then next to it, write resource using over resource not. That means you're putting the number that they give you for whatever resource they're making over what they're opting not to. Whatever that number is, that's the opportunity cost. So the cheat sheet is for calculating the opportunity cost of a job. If they give you output, QL over QG, quantity of what you're losing over what you're gaining, okay, to calculate the opportunity cost. Once you calculate an opportunity cost for a person or a country for a good, for the other one, you don't have to recalculate it. It's just the reciprocal. You just flip it. Love to flip stuff. Flapjacks, food. Flipping is good. So you just flip it. Let's do some examples. So practice questions. I don't have a slide for it, but you have the review in front of you, hopefully. If you don't, you should fast forward this part and wait till you have it. So they have here Mike and Debbie, and they are giving you data on vacuuming and washing dishes. Which one are they giving you, output or input? Correct. Input, a resource. How much time? Who has the absolute advantage of of vacuuming? Debbie does. She does it quicker. Who has the absolute advantage of washing dishes? Mike. He does that quicker. Calculate the opportunity cost. If I'm using a resource cheat sheet equation up on my sheet, using over not using. So I say if Mike is vacuuming and he's taking 60 minutes, he's not washing dishes, so that's over 30. So 60 over 30 is 2. So Mike's opportunity cost is 2 loads of dishes. Write that, record that next to where it says 60 minutes, and next to Mike, write opportunity cost. So you know that you're adding numbers, your comparative advantage. So then you just flip it for the load of dishes. It's 1/2. Debbie, obviously it's 45 over 45, 1 over 1, both are 1. Who should specialize in vacuuming? Well, Debbie. She has the lower opportunity cost, 1 in regards to Mike's 2 loads of dishes being sacrificed. Mike should then wash dishes. 1/2 is less than 1. It worked out that the absolute advantage person also had the comparative advantage, but that won't always happen. Okay. Let's go down to the second one. Who has the absolute advantage in computers and cars? Well, in this case, you have output. So you're going to do QL over QG. So for the United States to make cars, it's 4 over 12, which is 1/3. So work through that problem and make sure. Okay, you've gone through the review material. Look at the practice questions. I give you the answer key on the next pages, I think. Yes, I do. So make sure that you go through that. And if you don't understand it or how to set it up, you need to come see me. Here is the bonus round. This is my fiance, Brian. I want you to pay attention to the picture. You have to be the first person to come to me, and what you have to say is, Miss Burchell, I'm ready for the question. I'm going to ask you a question about this photo. If you answer correctly, you win the choice of extra credit or some kind of candy. Happy studying, and I will post the review session for review session number 3, because I combined 1 and 2 here very shortly. Have a good day.